Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So it's day 2 of the lockdown. So hope you're doing well. And yeah, if you're watching this back, I hope that you managed to check out day 1. So if you don't know, I'm Stephen Box, and this is the channel Vanguard Tactics. And over the next 21 days, I'm going to be going live every single day at 6 o'clock. So I can answer your questions all about Warhammer 40,000, whether it's competitive play styles. That's kind of what this channel is all about, just helping you to become better on the tabletop, but also, you know, making sure that we're promoting great sportsmanship and all that good stuff as well. So yeah, essentially, what have I been doing today? So today is my fitness and nutrition day. So I have a consultancy business where I help people with their fitness goals. And yeah, basically all day today, I'm doing consultancy calls, like how to do the perfect push-up and all stuff like that for those guys. So that's kind of what I've been doing today. Yesterday, I set the challenge to myself to build 10 Zephyrins, whatever they're called, Zeraphins. I don't know, some sort of Sisters of Adeptus Sororitas unit. They're incredible on the tabletop. Because I got a little bit bored, so I kind of, you know, bit of a hobby butterfly, so to speak. So anyway, who have we got in the chat? Brian, how you doing? Cult of Personality, how you doing? Ian, how you doing, mate? Brian, yes, I'm fully aware it's 3 minutes past 6. Now, the reason why I'm late is because I tried to do this really cool thing for the thumbnail, but it's back to front. So I was going to go for the thumbnail, but then it kind of completely backfired on me. So yeah, that's why I'm late. Anyway, who else we got? Jeremy, Aragon. Didn't realize he was back in action. Aragon, Elendil. Yeah, nice. So what else we get? Hannibal Lictor. The whole gang's here. We've got Aragon and Hannibal. Hannibal. That's a combination between Hannibal and Annabelle. So scary, you wouldn't even believe it. Sam said Repentia versus Sanguinary Guard. Repentia beat Sanguinary Guard up. You wouldn't even believe it. I mean, it just depends who goes first in the combat. But if the Repentia go first, those Sangers are dead. If the Sangers go first, the Repentia are probably dead. Yeah. Hope you guys as well caught yesterday's video where I spoke about the best unit in competitive 40K for combat. I'll be honest, I got some stick about the title, but I don't really care. You know, I always say to people, it's so difficult trying to name a video without it being really boring, and I just want something lighthearted, fun. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out now. Well, not now, obviously after this live. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've been learning so much about video editing, about color grading, transitions, music. So I've been doing loads of homework, literally like probably put in about 20 hours last week of research on how to edit videos properly so I can bring Vanguard Tactics a higher level of production just to make it really engaging. So let me know what you think about that. Right, here we go. Apparently it's been snowing in Utah, eh? Let's see. So, question, Nurgle or Slaanesh demons for Chaos Soup? Slaanesh. Always. Just so much cooler. So much cooler. And they're quick as well. Like those, the greater demons of Slaanesh, real good. I like them. Yeah. Absolutely. Apparently it was the right way. My webcam mirrors it. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but for me it looked backwards, so I'm not sure. Hey everyone, how you doing? Yeah, the Repentia is so good, and a lot of people said, oh, but they need buffs. Well, every unit needs buffs. There's no real unit that kind of operates on its own apart from a knight. And I'm not just going to go, and even they use strategy. So yeah, and obviously if there isn't a unit that needs all those things, then it's going to have a ridiculously high cost with it as well, like a knight. So yeah, I thought, do you know what? I'll bring attention to something that no one's using. Really cool. And yeah, anyway, let me know what you think of that video. You got to watch out for those Repentia. They'll get you. Right, okay, so Josh has said, with the wolves looking like they'll be better than blood angels in combat. I actually have 10 wolfen that arrived today from a sort of prize that I won from Greetings from the Warp from winning that one. So yeah, I did get 10 wolfen arrive today. I don't think I'll run the wolfen. I mean, wolfen beat blood angels, but you need 30 of them. Sticking with the boys in gold, I'm a blood angel through and through, to be honest, when it comes to Marines. Although I do a little soft spot for Ultramarines. So we'll go for what up next. Talk about some Custodes stuff. What do you think they'll get in Psychic Awakening? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And if I did know, I wouldn't be able to say. And I don't also like to guess in all that sort of stuff, really. I'd like to see Sisters of Silence included as units for them. I think that would really help them out. And some sort of ability like some sort of unique benefit to them. I think they could be pretty deadly. So, yeah, they're all right. They just need a little bit extra mobility, I think. Yeah, Custodes. More people want Custodes love. Yeah. Proud of the Vanguard. The 40K community needs high quality production. Yeah, look, I'm no pro at editing. I'm self-taught, so I'm just learning as I'm going. I'm playing. Yesterday's video took literally all day to edit, right from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till about 8 p.m. in the evening. I also did a mentorship video that I had to edit and publish for Hobby. Chris Wilson, how you doing? What's your thoughts on Plague Bearer spam with the most recent changes to Iron Hands and Raven Guard? Yeah, I mean, Plague Bearers have always been good. The only problem is Thunder Fire cannons are still out there. They're still a thing. And obviously they just slow them down so much. So if we see a decrease in Thunder Fire cannons or their change in terms of chapter approved, whether it's a points increase, a stratagem increase in terms of how many it costs to use tremor shells, which I would like to go up to 2 because I think it's just a bit too strong. It just cripples that army basically. So if we see a decrease in that, maybe it will give a chance, a bit more room for. I can't even believe I'm saying this because I hate Plague Bearers, but yeah. Hobby Hammer, I made it. What are your thoughts on Blood Angels based mostly around intercessors in impulses and maybe one jump pack unit? I just don't think I just don't really think it's their play style. If you were to do it, you would need one Sanguinary Ancient. In fact, I wrote a list. I'll read you out this list that I wrote the other day. You can have this as a little freebie. While this is loading, here we go. It's an infantry-based list. 7 units of intercessors. 1, 2, 3 10-man units, 4 5-man units. All these sergeants have a Thunderhammer. Then 2 units of Sanguinary Guard of 9-man, all with Power Fists in both squads. And then a Sanguinary Ancient. And that Sanguinary Ancient has the Standard of Sacrifice. And basically, your job is to get all of those models wholly within 6 inches of that model, okay? And I think it just about fits. So you literally move it up the table, and everything's just got that 5+ feel no pain because it's models within 6 inches of that banner will get it. And then characters disperse behind it. Sanguinary Guard can go in deep strike or on the board, whatever's needed. And that just moves up like a train, essentially. And I think I gave them all, they've all got auto bolt rifles as well. Yeah, so just to give them a little bit more DACA because they'll be sort of moving and advancing. And remember that Blood Angels get +1 to their advance. So you want to be advancing if you're going to do it. So that's an option. Very infantry based. Pretty cool. Not so much of the impulses though, because I just don't think they can transport enough guys. Anyway, Hey mate, thanks for the time from here in Australia. How you doing? What do you think will be previewed for 40K by GW on the 28th? I think more elves. I think more elves will get a bit of a highlight. But I don't know. I'd love to see another Primarch. That'd be cool. Yeah. Jordan said, Ty, I just sat down to paint. This is excellent timing, no problem. Let me know what you're painting, Jordan. Be interested to know. Chris has said, before Space Marines, it was Top Dog, then Chapter Master. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with all the rerolls to hit. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's also what's killed Plague Bears a little bit. Any thoughts on this? I used to play Genie Stealer Bomb, but even a simple intercessor gets 3 attacks being charged. My terror from the outer space are not so scary anymore. They do hit hard, and they got so much mobility. And I think 2 big units of max squads of Genie Stealers as a forward pressure could be really good. Especially, I really like Tyranid Warriors, big squads of Warriors. They're pretty scary now, just so durable, can control the board. You need to play really cagey. You need to be able to use terrain really, really well, wrap and trap effectively, and make sure you're getting layers. You know, those Genie Stealers are literally there to hit something and get rid of it. It's all about picking those targets with the Hive Guard, the whatever it is, Exocrine. They've got some good options now, so yeah. Vanguard Tactics, really want to know your opinion on Space Wolves. I think they're great. I think they're really good. The Wolfen have just got that little bit better, and that's just what they needed. Will Reavers ever be a viable unit as Blood Angels? Nope. But White Scars, they are good because you can advance in charge with them. So that's why they can be good with White Scars, and you can double move them. So you can move 6, move them another 6, advance in both phases. So that's another potential like 7-inch charge, 7-inch range. So that's 12 plus another 7. That's like 19 inches. Then you can charge the factions competitively once this ITC season resumes. Yeah, I want to get all my results in with Blood Angels. I ideally want 4 results of 200 points. I've got 3 results of over 200 points at the moment. Then I can feel like I've left Blood Angels alone in case someone starts to creep up in terms of getting that #1 spot off me. Then I'll start playing them again. But I'm working on my sisters, so I'm going to run sisters or Blood Angels. Yeah. Basically, anything with nice wings, angel looking, is what I'm going to be running this year, I think. What do you... In fact, that's a good little segue. I'll show you what I've been doing so far. So my accountability pledge was to build 10 Zep reference. I built 7, and then I got bored. But they look really good. But I've been working on these today. So I've got my priest... Got my priest done, undercoated. I got my this canoness done, but built and painted, or built and undercoated, sorry. This one arrived today as well, the older Magifier. So I got that one done. Another canoness done. And then got my sister superior as well. And then I built 2 of these the other day, which are the mortifiers. So I got 2 of these done. But then this one, because I got 3 of the get started box, this is actually you don't get the dual kit, you just get the Pentanent engine kit. Now what I had to do was basically get rid of the man on front, and then I did this cool little conversion where you get a coffin. So I've put 2 coffins together to fill the gap, so that looks neat and tidy on there. Then what I did was he needs a heavy bolter. Now he's got the 2 flamethrowers on the top there, which I've just kind of left for aesthetics really. And I didn't want to cut them off because I thought I'd do more damage than good. But then what I did was I got if you can see those bolt guns there, heavy bolters even, they are the Deathwatch heavy bolters. And then what I did was I had to, because they're all built for 1 arm, I had to then cut off this ammo panel and put it on the other side, file it down. And I think that's a good little workaround, turning a Pentanent engine into a mortifier. So I've got 3 of these to do. I should have enough boxes to have enough of these little canopy things. So I can have basically 9 or whatever of them. But just take a little bit of converting. Then I need to convert my Seraphim into Zeppelins as well. So that's the next goal. I need to get some small little power swords or something. Anyway, or I mean, chain swords I'll roll with. If I got a chain sword, that'll do. Anyway, so where do we get to? So let me know what to view today with 40K today. That podcast, which is your 15-minute daily dose of all things on podcast for 40K. And we're going to be talking about mental health. So that should be quite good. I'm not sure when that'll be out, though. And then myself and Jack and Joe will be recording our own podcast tonight. So if you've got a question for the podcast, if you want your question featured on the podcast, put it here with the title podcast and then your question. What do I fancy doing? I don't want to do those Zephyrins anymore, some silvers and stuff. So yeah, I'll do some painting tomorrow. Mix it up a bit before tomorrow's live, and I can show you how I'm getting on with what color schemes I'm working on. Right, okay. Got 18 minutes already. It just flies by. I don't really worry about screens with Blood Angels. I just put it all on the table. So just chuck it down. Yeah, put it all down, move it up there. Don't worry about screens. Kill it as you go through it, is my method. Raikou has said, hi, any Iron Hands ideas? How do you run them against Blood Angel, Wolfen, etc.? You don't. That's not a fight you're going to win unless you can really outplay your opponent. So I think you've got to establish that you're going to not have board control, but you need to deploy aggressively, not defensively. If you let the Blood Angel or Space Wolf player push you in a corner, it's game over. You're never going to get that game back. So you need to deploy really, really aggressively and ensure you're making the right moves in terms of getting the angles on into the terrain features and being counterintuitive. It's actually going to be all the mass fire that picks up these models, not your heavy weapons. So you can afford to lose. If you've got like a big tank, just stick it on the front line. Doesn't matter if it gets wrapped in trapped, because you want to actually bait your opponent to do that, get wrapped in trapped with small infantry models. So that's what you also need to be very aware of. Do Blood Angels make Primaris Reavers worth it? No, but Incursors are good though. I feel like 30 to 50 Intercessors with 2 to 3 melee fatty units can be amazing right now in the meta. Absolutely, agree. Aren't all Death Star based builds like Thunderwolf Cavalry, the Blood Angel list you talked about, Possess Bomb, unviable because Thunderfire cannons and Tremor Shells still exist? Well, they don't affect Blood Angels because they got the fly keyword, but they do affect Thunderwolf Cavalry. So yeah, it can affect them, certainly. You can't target the Possess, so yeah, you won't be able to hit them with it either, because you can't literally target them because of the stratagem from Alpha Legion. But yeah, they certainly hurt Wolfen and Repentia, but if you hit a unit of Repentia, it's kind of okay because I've got another 2, so one of them's going to get in. Can you sing Happy Birthday? I'm really sorry. Elia? Is that how you pronounce it? Elia? Hey mate, no questions, just throwing up some appreciation for your video. Thank you very much. With the new ITC missions, are shooting armies dead in the water? No, not at all. They've still got such good play. You just need to know, you need to have some sort of counter punch, I think, now. Is there anything? Chris Wilson, any chance of you starting playing Age of Sigmar? If yes, what army? Yes, there is a very high likelihood that I will be playing AOS very soon, and that army will be elves. Yeah, high elves will be my thing. They'll be in my jam, so I'm just waiting for them to come out. I'll be running cavalry, okay? That's what it's going to be. And then I'm tempted to do some AOS tournaments, and I might even do some videos on it, actually. See if the skills that I teach on the mentorship program are also can be crossed with AOS to see if it's the same, to see how I get on at a tournament. Maybe could record my first ever tournament experience for AOS. That could be a cool vlog even. I've also had someone approach me who does Kill Team, so they gave me an email today about sort of doing some sort of collaboration where I can go onto their video channel and talk about it was Warhammer 40K. Yeah, Chris Harris, who runs that. So thanks for the email, Chris. And definitely we could do something there. Sounds good. And yeah, to see if there's some sort of cross-collaborating skills from like all the things that I do teach in terms of threat ranges, analysis, critical reviewing, all that kind of good stuff that I talk about in terms of game theory on the mentorship that should cross over quite nicely. Yeah, doing very well, thanks. Returning 40K player, always been a Space Marine fanboy. I have a lot of first pads from years ago. Which chapter do you advise between Imperial Fists and Iron Hands? I have Aggressors and Redemptors. Such a cool color. I'd go with those. I'm new to 40K and just got some Blood Angels, so I was wondering if Assault Terminators or Thunder Hammers or Storm Shields are good. I'm overwhelmed by how many people are putting comments in and stuff like that. So, yeah. Mike said you were going to the yellow card video part 2 is still need to think about how I want to do it. I've had some ideas. And again, like current climate, there's other things for us to worry about right now. But yeah, I think sportsmanship still has got some way to go. And that's kind of where I want to take that video is how do we build an infrastructure that supports people that maybe aren't very great in sort of disagreements and, you know, start to put processes in place so people feel really inspired to go to tournaments. I to be honest, I hated all the messages that said, oh, this is reconfirm why I don't go to tournaments. No, it shouldn't. That's not what the purpose of that video was. But then obviously doing all the making these videos and bringing light to sportsmanship that we can start to eradicate it, because, you know, we all get rules wrong. I get rules wrong. I've been getting rules wrong every single game with these Sisters of Battle for the last kind of 8 test games. But it wasn't quite sinking in certain little minutiae elements. Okay. So I can give you some examples, but I don't want to take up too much time doing that. But yeah, like we get things wrong, but the difference is intentional and consistent versus unintentional and infrequent. So there's a difference there between how we then handle those things. And I also want to see a differentiation between getting a yellow card for a late list submission or a list typo and a yellow card for poor conduct. They should be very different things. So that's kind of what I want to do that video on. But to be honest, it's such a minefield and I really need to kind of probably take a week to do that. Anyway. So yeah, I would like to do it at some point. Anyway, okay, guys, I think I am lagging a little bit, so apologies there if I am. Right, guys, we'll leave that there, but I will be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock to answer any more questions. If my live is come back, please let me know. Just put a message to say that I'm back. I'll hold on for another 20 seconds, otherwise I'll call it if I'm still lagging. How many armies do I own? Quite a fair few. I'm back. Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, I'll hang on for a few more minutes then. How are successor chapters for Blood Angels? I plan on just using Blood Angel rules, but potentially not being able to use specific name characters. Yeah, you'll definitely be handicapping yourself because all the best Blood Angel characters are named. Jack's asked for the best Ultramarines list. It's currently sat, in my opinion, in that little shelf over there on the right, over there underneath the white box. That is my Blood Angel list. It contains Calgar, a lieutenant, 3 units of suppressors, 3 units of aggressors, 2 3s and a 5, a repulsor for the 5-man, 2 execution repulsors for the 3-man, and a thunderfire cannon. It's probably one of the best Ultramarine builds out there, in my opinion. How many armies do I own? A fair few, but not all of them are sort of finished. and I need to spend a bit of time to get them all up to the tabletop standard so I can put them on the channel more frequently. So we've got a new battle report coming out, which is Blood Angels versus Dark Eldar, which I need to edit. Next week when I've had a chance to read the Orc book. Obviously at the moment I haven't got access to that, so I don't really want to give I don't want to give an opinion on that just yet. James Hamill needs some help with his sister list. How you doing? Sir, please, competitive speaking, can you put a standard weapon loadout onto a Primaris and still call it a regular unit, as in the frag cannon onto a Primaris and say it's a standard Marine? Yeah. So if you make your whole army Primaris size, that's completely fine. Okay, but you cannot run any Primaris units if you're going to do that. Okay, so all of my Death Company are actually what are they called? Reavers. So they're Reaver models, but they're all my Death Company because they just look cooler. So there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, of upscaling, because you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage. It's like modeling for disadvantage, but they just look much cooler. Yeah. You can certainly do that, but you can't run Primaris and them. It's just got to be one or the other. Why did I drop the Ultramarines? Because at the time, Iron Hands came out and they just obliterated Ultramarines every single day of the week. So it just got a bit boring of playing that game 3 out of 5 games at a tournament where I didn't have a chance. They just outdo everything. Now with the changes, I actually think Ultramarines are a lot stronger. Guys, if you have a few people have messaged, but you've put a swear word in your messages and it gets basically held for review. So please refrain from swearing. I'll try and keep this a very kid-friendly show. In case people have got me on in the background, they've got children running around, so I'm very aware of that as well. So yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to call that there. It's been half an hour, but guys, thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you want any more, help with your lists, and lists in particular, over on my community page, which is for the students, I tailor and also review lists for you personally. So we've had about another 10 people sign up for the mentorship program. So welcome to everyone that has joined. And obviously it's a great time for it while everyone's in. The other thing what I've done is module 5, which is the advanced module in terms of tactics. It revolves around a lot of actually playing the game in terms of little skill elements. I've actually brought that forward just while coronavirus is about and we're sort of locked in. I've actually brought that forward to week 3. So if you join the mentorship program and you are on until week 3, you get access to module 5, which normally you just sign up for the you ditch off the free trial and you just join normally, then you can get access to that earlier, especially if you buy the thing up front. So anyway, guys, yeah, I will chat to you all next week. And if you want all the details of that stuff, it's in the link below, apparent with everyone about everything that I do. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow for another live at 6. See you later.